Greetings, humans. I come in peace and with podcasts. Welcome to Podnation Media, home of the KJ&A podcast, The Undiscovered Entrepreneur, Monster Island Film Vault, Cthulhu Jack Presents, and Films in Fermentation. All streaming exclusively on Roku. Business, monsters, whiskey, cinema, chaos. Your ears deserve better. Join Podnation Media before we probe your algorithm.
Films and fermentation, movies and inebriation. Films and fermentation, comedy mixed with tasty libation. Films and fermentation, with Leo, Batman, and Mike.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Films and Fermentation. We're back with another episode this week. This one is a special episode to quote some of those great 80s TV shows, a very special episode. Since last week, we were talking about some, tragic actors passing of some actors and actresses and stuff lately. We decided we're going to do an episode tonight about mental health and how accurately it is portrayed in some films. And we're going to do our best to be fun, but still respectful of these topics. So tonight's episode is titled Real Therapy, Movies That Portray Mental Health Accurately and the Ones That Missed the Mark. Again, we are Films and Fermentation, Movie and Alcohol Podcast, #1 beer podcast on Good Pods. I'm Leo.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Mike.
We're three friends like talk shit about movies while getting shit-faced. This week on Films and Fermentation, we're diving into one of Hollywood's most important and complicated subjects, mental health in movies. From powerful portrayals of depression, OCD, PTSD, autism, and bipolar disorder, to films that maybe didn't quite consult a licensed professional. We're breaking down what cinema gets right and where it misses the mark. Some movies handle mental illness with nuance, research, and emotional honesty, while others treat it like a quirky personality trait or a convenient plot twist. We're not here to cancel your favorites, but we are here to talk about accuracy, impact, and why representation matters. So grab a drink, join the conversation, and let's explore how mental health is portrayed on the big screen, responsibly, respectfully, and with just enough humor to keep it real. Don't forget to drop us an email at filmsandfermentation@gmail.com or visit linktree.com/filmsandfermentation to find all of our social media and podcast links. Become part of the Films and Fermentation family by watching us on the Podnation Media Network on Roku. We are an independent podcast, which means we are listener supported, so please consider joining our Patreon for as little as $1 a month to receive members-only content. You could also buy our merchandise at teespring.com or text us at 904-867-4466. I have one shout-out to give for the episode we dropped last week. Last week we had Kevin and Jay from the KJ&A podcast on to talk about forgotten 80s animation. And I posted a short clip from the show on TikTok. It was the one where Jay guessed the Centaurians, and we were talking about some of the crazy names of the characters on that show. And we got a comment on TikTok from a user named Dat Aspirin. DATSASPRIN, Dat Aspirin, who said, "Good poll, great show. Thank you, and keep on keeping on." By the way, Wheeled Warriors was awesomeness. And Wheeled Warriors was one of the shows I had on the short list for that episode, but didn't get around to putting it on. So thank you, Dat Aspirin, for that comment. What are we drinking tonight, gentlemen?
I'm drinking spilled beer, apparently.
You and me both.
Don't spill your beer.
I just cracked open my Weyerbacher Quad Belgian-style quadruple ale.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of got it on some of my wife's work equipment.
I had that a couple weeks ago.
It's delicious. I think it's my second. Not tonight, just my second
Okay.
that I had. My stock is depleting rapidly, so I feel a need to travel to the beer store in the near future. And if I get through this, I have a Sam Adams cold brew coffee stout.
Ooh, that sounds good.
The Weyerbacher Quad is 11.8% alcohol by volume. The Sam Adams cold brew is 6% alcohol by volume. So I should be feeling pretty good after this.
Yeah. Mike, what you got going on? He's wiping down his desk too.
Well, I opened up my longliner longer from Cape May Brewing Company, and it's fizzing out the top. So I must drop it at some point or something. So
I see a lot of activity there. I
may have to go get a paper towel here in a minute. So
okay. I mean, you're going to run. I'll talk about my drink while you're doing that. I was telling Mike in pre-show, Kev, this is week 3 of the heat not working well in my building.
Oh no!
It keeps they fix it, and the next day it's broken again, and it's almost every day it's happening.
They may want to get a contract with a different HVAC company.
Yeah, and it's colder in my office than it is outside, and so I am coming home with such a chill in my body anymore. So tonight,
which is tough because you generally run warm.
Yeah, I am freezing. So right now, I got a blanket on my lap right now, and I'm drinking coffee. But I don't just want to do coffee because alcohol. So I'm drinking coffee with some Irish cream dropped into it. So I'm drinking this is Ryan's Irish style cream liquor, which I just finished. There wasn't much left in that bottle. So if I do a second Irish cream coffee, I'm going to have to crack open the old Baileys that we have in there. Yeah. It was unopened, and I knew my wife would get mad at me if I opened it. So I wanted to finish the old one first. So. All right, Mike, are you ready for me to play a song, or are you still cleaning up?
I'm good. Go ahead.
Quickly puts his headphones on to get ready for it. All right, here we go.
This week in film history with Mike. This week in film history with Mike.
In 1922, the first vampire film, Nosferatu, an unauthorized adaptation of Bram Stoker's Dracula, premieres at the Berlin Zoological Garden in Germany.
Very good film, very good for a silent film, very early film, but it's really, it is a creepy movie. The remake that was out recently is also equally creepy. And I like the movie Shadow of the Vampire, which is about the making of Nosferatu, starring Willem Dafoe. But it's a very, very good film. Anybody who is a film historian or a
film appreciation teacher,
you should know Nosferatu.
Yes.
Next one, sir.
1933, King Kong, film directed by Marion C. Cooper and Ernest B. Schoedsack, starring Fay Wray, premieres at Radio City Music Hall and RKO Roxy in New York City.
Was Beauty Killed the Beast?
That's what they said.
Wasn't the planes.
Wasn't the planes. And it wasn't and it was better than the
those planes had stormtroopers on them. They couldn't hit anything.
Yeah, I know. Big monkey, they couldn't hit him. I actually think this is better than the Peter Jackson version that came in the early 2000s. I really like the original King Kong. Next one, sir.
1964, Beatles begin filming A Hard Day's Night. George Harrison meets future wife Patty Boyd.
Didn't Patty Boyd end up becoming Eric Clapton's wife too? After that,
I think so.
Yeah.
One of them stole the other one's wife, and then eventually divorced that person too. And then George Harrison and Eric Clapton later on started referring to each other as husbands-in-law. Next one, sir.
1965, one of the most popular musical films of all time, The Sound of Music, starring Julie Andrews and Christopher Plummer, premieres Academy Award Best Picture 1966.
This is where we learn about everybody's favorite things.
Mm-hmm. These are a few of my favorite things.
Not a Christmas song.
Not a Christmas song, yeah. Although it gets used at Christmas time a lot, right?
It does.
Yeah, I'm not a real big Sound of Music fan. I'm not knocking the film. I'm not saying it's a bad film. It's just not one that it's like a go-to for me when I go to musicals, you know.
I don't know why it's played every year around Easter. I'm missing the connection.
Oh, you know, Easter,
Springtime for
Hitler and Germany. That's what it is. Yeah, Easter time is when you escape into the Alps to get away from the Nazis.
I'm every mountain. Oh.
What's the other one? Farewell, adieu.
So long,
farewell. So long, farewell. Go fuck yourself. Goodbye. That song. All right, next one, sir.
1970, Airport, based on the book by Arthur Haley, directed by George Seaton, and starring Burt Lancaster and Dean Martin, is released.
I don't know as much.
One of the inspirations for Airplane, wasn't it?
It is the inspiration for Airplane. There were a bunch of these like disaster movies in the 70s. Like there was Airport 77, Towering Inferno, The Side Adventure, like all these big disaster movies, and they were all like inspirations for Airplane, which I know more about Airplane than to do any of those disaster films. Next one, sir.
1977, Betty Davis is the first woman to achieve the American Film Institute's Life Achievement Award. She's got Betty Davis eyes. I don't think there's a time, Mike, we didn't sing that anytime Betty Davis's name came up.
Hold on to your hats. It's gonna be a bumpy ride.
What's the next one, sir?
1985, Moonlighting with Sybil Shepherd and Bruce Willis premieres on ABC TV in the U.S.
The TV show that made Bruce Willis America's sweetheart. Some fly by night, some fly by day, moonlighting strangers. You know what else I remember from this show? Booger was on it. Curtis Armstrong was one of the supporting actors on the show. Next one's a really good one.
1987, first Lethal Weapon, starring Mel Gibson and Danny Glover. I'm getting told for this shit. Directed by Richard Donner, is released.
I like the meme that says this motherfucker was 44 years old when he was too old for this shit. I read somewhere they were making another Lethal Weapon, and I'm like, they can't make another Lethal Weapon.
Like a reboot or a sequel?
No, like number 5. Like,
oh god.
Like Danny Glover is 97 years old now. He really is too old for this shit at this point.
And Mel Gibson's crazy.
And Joe Pesci would be like, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Okay. My name is Leo Getz. Whatever you want, Leo Getz. Get it? The first Lethal Weapon, what's weird about it is like that first one was so dark and talk about a movie about depression. And the later ones became just like
comedies.
Like Beverly Hills Cop, you know, adjacent in a way. Yeah. Next one, sir.
Let's see where I'm at. Where I'm at. Oh, 1995, Man of the House, directed by James Orr and starring Chevy Chase and Farrah Fawcett, premieres in America. Why?
You're burying the lead on that one. Wasn't the kid from Home Improvement in that movie too? Jonathan Taylor Thomas, I think.
Again, why?
All right, next one.
1996, Fargo, directed and written by Joel and Ethan Coen, starring Francis McDormand, William H. Macy, and Steve Buscemi, released in the U.S.
That would be a really fun episode to do as a Coen Brothers episode. They got some crazy shit in their filmography, from Raising Arizona to this movie. You know, that'd be a crazy episode.
Men Who Stared Sheeps.
Men Who Stare Goats.
Goats.
I don't think that's a Coen's brother movie.
No.
They did Burn After Reading, the one with Brad Pitt and Frances McDormand. That's a really good one. But I don't think they did Men Who Stare, unless one of them did it, because they did do a bunch of movies separately.
And they did Hail Caesar, I want to say, too.
Hail Caesar was Joel Coen. Ethan Coen did they both did a bunch of movies separately after. I think it might have been like right after Burn After Reading. They kind of separated and started doing like their own thing, because Joel Coen did Green Book, and he did Hail Caesar. Ethan Coen did Drive Away Dolls. So like they did a lot of stuff, and they're talking about going back together to do another film as a team again, but I don't know when that's happening. Last one, sir.
In 2010, Alice in Wonderland, inspired by Lewis Carroll, directed by Tim Burton, and starring Johnny Depp and Mia Wasikowski.
I don't know how to pronounce her name. It's like
Wasikowska.
Yeah, it's like Wasikowska or something like that. I'm not even sure how to pronounce it.
It's released.
Yes. Weird fucking movie.
It's Tim Burton. Come on.
It's Tim Burton.
It's also Lewis Carroll.
Yeah. Well, but it's not really Lewis Carroll. It's a unofficial sequel to Alice in Wonderland that Tim Burton wrote himself. Well, pause it for. All right, let's move on then to Beer News.
Kevin's here, he's here for beer. He's got news, it's beer in the Kevin.
Oh, that's me. Okay.
That's you. You're Kevin, and this is Beer News.
You're the only Kevin on tonight.
You're the only one doing Beer News.
I figured something that popped up not long ago that we should probably talk about is a drink that Tom Hanks had mentioned on an interview with Stephen Colbert not long ago.
Was this the one that Mike? Was this the one that you shared with Kev?
No, Mike.
You agree with? No, okay.
No.
The one I was talking about, more beers, breweries shutting
Breweries
down.
closing down.
Yeah.
It's byline is it tastes like a really good sparkling cider. So I will have to make it, but I think I'm just going to need to get out to a liquor store. Essentially, Tom Hanks debuts a 2-ingredient cocktail on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. It's a cocktail made with Diet Coke and champagne, but it tastes like a super bubbly sparkling cider.
Who has the idea in the first place to put Coke and champagne together?
Not I.
I've never heard champagne used as a mixer. Except for like orange juice when you make a mimosa.
Mimosa, yeah, that's what I was thinking too. But I guess if you have champagne.
I can hear the boy doesn't like this idea at all.
Yeah, no, he's not digging it.
I read the article earlier when I saw it this morning when I was like going through the notes, and I like the one part of the article that says when he mentions it, Stephen Colbert's audience gasps. Like, what?
That's where I was going to go with this. Yeah, I love Tom Hanks nibbling on baby corn and big, and his campfire roasted crab eating scene with Wilson the volleyball and Castaway. But let's be real, exactly no one other than Hanks is floating Diet Coke and champagne in the same glass. The cocktail, quote unquote, that he debuted on the air with Stephen Colbert gets a noticeable gasp from the audience, along with his own admission, I may be insane. I texted my sister to find out if she had ever heard of the combo. What is this concoction of everything I love in one glass? She replied. I also got a quizzical eyebrow raise from a woman in the grocery store checkout when I told her the sparkling wine was for Diet Coke, not mimosas. Just put rum in it, she said. Still, the so-called Diet Cocaine.
I'm not sure if that's how it's pronounced, but it looked like it. Yeah, I was saying cocaine,
cocaine, cocaine,
like champagne.
Champagne. I felt like a 1980s businessman in a movie doing cocaine on a Friday morning before work. In advance of this going off the rails, cola-based cocktails have been a much-loved thing since way back. Playing off the rum-based Cuba Libre, and Batanga mixes salt, lime, and tequila with Coke or Pepsi. The Basque country favorite, Calimocho, blends Rioja, and Coke and lemon, and the Cola Black Russian tops coffee liqueur and vodka with you know it as a fizzy Coca-Cola. Essentially, it's a way Diet Coke has been used as a mixer or Coke, I should say, has been used as a mixer for a while. The article continues to say that Hank's version goes like this. You fill a highball glass with ice, you add Diet Coke until it's about 2/3 full, and then you top it off with a generous shot of, I'm not familiar with this brand of champagne, but Veuve Clicquot. This drink must be cold. Is that how it's pronounced? Clicquot?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Oh, okay. I thought I heard Mike chime in.
I just said I can afford.
This drink must be cold. Chill the glass. Load up the ice. Pull your ingredients straight out of the fridge and enjoy it immediately on an iceberg in an ice hotel, especially in summer. The drink is endlessly tweakable. Adding a few drops of Fee Brothers West India Orange Bitters makes it feel like I was drinking a sophisticated cocktail with a slight citrusy edge. If Veuve is too much coin for your purse, Prosecco or other dry sparkling wines do just as well. But since the name of the game is for this one is balancing sweetness, you got to stick with Diet Coke or Coke Zero. Cherry Coke or regular Coke makes the drink too syrupy. Take my word for it, this cocktail is at once unnerving, festive, and totally dad-core. If Tom Hanks were Gen Z, you know this stuff would be bottled and blowing up your Instagram already. So that's all there is to say about that one. I need to apologize. I have no idea where the stuff he knows.
That's all I got to say about that.
That's all I got to say about that. My next article is about a homer, and we're going not homer like dope, but homer like baseball. A homer to win a year's supply of beer. Team Canada player makes that dream a reality. Matt Davidson put his head down and trotted to the bases. He didn't think much of it, just another dinger to add to his collection. I had no idea, Canada's slugging designator hitter told me. I came in the dugout and something was going on. It was hard, and with the language barrier, the translator told me I hit the beer sign and there would be some surprises. Surprises indeed. Nice. Davidson, slugging star for Team Canada at the 2026 World Baseball Classic, has hit a lot of dingers in a lot of places. He hit 46 in the KBO in 2024. He crushed 226 in the minor leagues. He once hit 3 on opening day for the White Sox. But one homer pops up more than any other. If you search his name on social media or Google, it's one of the first you'll see. His laser off the Kirin beer sign in 2023 while he was playing for the Hiroshima Carp. It granted him free access to one can of beer every day for 12 months, kind of like winning an adult carnival game. A year's worth of beer, Davidson smiled. They sent me 365 beers to the clubhouse.
Oh, wait. I thought he was getting a beer a day. He got all the beer up front. So you can have 365 beers in one day.
In one day.
Wow.
Being the consummate teammate and friend, Davidson gave all of his Kirin beer away to his fellow Carp, spreading it around the room. And also, while beer isn't totally his go-to drink after a long day, I'm more of a bourbon guy, Davidson told me. More bourbon and wine. I really don't drink beer, although beers over there is good with the yakiniku, which is Japanese barbecue. Bonus was that Davidson also received about 1 million yen, which was the equivalent to about $7,500. Davidson is a California native, but his mom grew up in Winnipeg, and he's thrilled to be in Puerto Rico representing the Maple Leaf colors. I'm so excited, Davidson said. I tried to play last time. It just didn't work out. I'm really honored to be part of this. Team Canada is hoping Davidson's winning beer power along Josh Naylor and Tyler O'Neill's big bats can help it advance this week. Funny enough, there is a Madala beer sign hovering over the right field bleachers in Bithorn, but a 420-foot opposite field shot may just be a little much to ask for the 34-year-old. Manager Ernie Witt and the rest of the Great White North squad will likely take anything that squeaks over the fence. Ba-dum-bum.
Ba-dum-bum.
365 beers.
Lastly, it seems like a story that I cover all too often here.
I was going to say, how many times have you read a story like this year alone?
Right?
Yeah.
I think he just recycles it every so often.
Yeah, just changes the name of the singer.
That's right. Erase my name and put on somebody else's. Country singer bolts from stage after fans throw beer. Wife is calling out the concert goers. This is out of Alabama, gentlemen.
Oh, Jesus.
Sam Canty's wife took to social media to lash out at concert goers after the country music star recently bolted from the stage after fans threw beer at the band. For some context, the performance was at the Treaty Oak Revival, which has a tradition of fans partaking in a beer shower with performers during the show. Excuse me. However, it has evolved into beers being tossed onto stage. Let's talk about it, Kelsey Canty said in a video posted on TikTok. Going to show you how that you are supposed to throw your beer and not to throw it on stage. She even demonstrated the proper technique on how to properly execute a beer shower. I'm going to have to fucking clean this up, and I'm going to hate it, she said. You're supposed to throw the liquid over your head and drop it on the ground, she continued. Is that hard? Is it hard? This is why there's plastic cups now instead of bottles, because of you guys. They're literally giving it their all, performing for you, giving you the best concert that they can, and y'all are ruining it for them by throwing stuff at them. It's just not cool. It's just not nice. You want me to throw something at you? Because I fucking will. And
I'm in danger.
So, you know.
Just drop sharply while I was away. Ma'am, I always.
So, you know.
Drop sharply.
Stop.
You better not be throwing beers at any more country music concerts because the wives will come after you.
I kind of feel
And
like
if you watch Yellowstone, you know how true that is.
Oh, yeah. That's bad. All right. For the first time in weeks, I says, I get to play my song because there are no celebrity obituaries to read.
Movie updates with Leo. Movie updates with Leo. Movie updates with Leo. Movie updates Leo.
All right, gentlemen, we have a list of movies that are slated for a 2027 release. 2027 is going to be a big year for movies. This is according to Pubbity, which is an entertainment news source on Instagram. All the major movie releases of 2027. Here we go. In February 2027, Ice Age Boiling Point. I didn't realize they're still making Ice Age films. In March, Gatto, which is a new Disney Pixar film. Gatto is the Italian word for cat, and I'm assuming it's about a cat because the picture's showing me a cat. The Exorcist reboot, which I think stars Scarlett Johansson. Really, Mike? Even though it stars Scarlett Johansson?
It's a reboot.
Sonic 4. Something. I can't make what it says here. Sonic the Hedgehog 4. Okay, I couldn't read it. The subtitle was Hedgehog. Godzilla X Kong Supernova. The Legend of Zelda live action film, which actually looks pretty good.
Okay.
This one I'm kind of excited about, even though they've dropped the ball lately. Star Wars Starfighter with Ryan Gosling. Actually, I'm kind of interested in that. How to Train Your Dragon 2, the sequel live-action film. Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. I have not seen the third one yet. Shrek 5. Superman Man of Tomorrow. Hey, guys, get excited. July 23rd, 2027, Minecraft 2. You knew that was coming with the fucking money they made on the first one.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
As long as they keep making Toy Story movies, are they going to keep making Shrek movies just to counter
Probably. Yeah,
Okay.
I guess so.
it?
Quiet Place Part 3. How fucking quiet do these people have to be? Jesus. The Simpsons movie Part 2. 48 years in the making. October of 2027, The Batman Part 2. And this is not the DCU Batman. This is the Matt Reeves Batman with the Twilight guy. Frozen 3. Here you go, Mike. The Lord of the Rings, The Hunt for Gollum. Considering there is no book called The Hunt for Gollum, this is an original film.
Apparently.
And lastly, in December of 2027, Avengers Secret Wars. Hopefully it lives up to the hype because I really am looking forward to Doomsday, which comes out later this year.
I saw a teaser for Green Lantern, but I wasn't quite sure of the year. Is that this year? Next year?
Oh, the Lantern TV show?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sometime this summer, I think. The one with Kyle Chandler. Yeah. It looked interesting. I wasn't sure what was going on in that trailer.
It did not provide a lot of information.
No, it looked kind of dark, whatever it was. Excuse me. Oh, we have a new Twisted Childhood Universe film. Thanks to all these fair usage rights on these classic characters. I saw the trailer for Pinocchio Unstrung.
Of course you did.
In this film, Pinocchio becomes a human by stealing other people's skin. It was a brutal trailer. Kevin can't wait to see this one. And I don't know if you guys have seen this or not. It's been making the rounds on social media lately, but they had Spin Magazine has an online show, and they had on this guy who's a singer from Africa who was translating the lyrics to the Lion King theme song. So I never knew what that meant, but this guy translated it for us, and you're never going to believe what it actually means.
I can do it.
Do it.
So you sing it like Dancing Gonya Magiti Baba.
You were way off.
Ingonyama.
All right. What does it mean?
It means, look, there's a lion. Oh my God.
You're joking. That is not what that means. That is not what that means.
That's exactly what it means.
That's what it means. Look, there's a lion.
Oh my God. It's a
Look, there's a lion. Oh my God.
It's a lion.
And so I looked it up to make sure that video is accurate, and it is. The actual lyrics are, look, there's a lion. Oh my God, there's a lion. I always thought it was something majestic. Like here comes the king, or here's the baby lion, or whatever. But no, it's like, look, there's a fucking lion over there.
Eat your ass.
Oh my God, there's a lion. That's funnier than the made up lyrics I used to make for it. Mike, any much try to Mike.
Let's go back to when the myth becomes fact.
Yeah, print the legend, and the legend becomes fact. Print the legend. Yeah. Oh wait, Kevin's got something up here. Hold on. Kevin has brought us the trailer for Pinocchio.
It's the image of Jiminy Cricket.
Oh, that's Jiminy Cricket. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the trailer, he goes, "I'm the cricket," and he's the one that teaches Pinocchio that he should, take people's skin. And
take people's skins.
Oh man, it was a brutal trailer. They showed a lot in that trailer, more than I'm used to seeing in a Red Band. Mike, any much try craft or brews or anything?
I do. It's also mixed with my history, so this is the only post I have tonight.
Oh,
It's got a little of both. So,
look at those.
Samuel Smith's Old Brewery Pale Ale, 5.2 ABV, is an additional Yorkshire beer brewed in Cadcaster, a historic brewing town known for the Burton of the North for its limestone water supply. Founded in 1758, the brewery remains one of England's oldest family-owned operations and is led by Humphrey Smith. It still uses rare Welsh slate Yorkshire square fermenters, two-tiered vessels that naturally separate yeast from beer during fermentation, producing high natural carbonation and a full body character. Cadcaster is home to 3 breweries today, including Samuel Smith, and John Smith, originally from the same family before 20th century split. The brewery also owns about 200 pubs, including London's historic Ye Old Cheshire Cheese, once frequented by Samuel Johnson and Charles Dickens. The pale ale is brewed with pale malt and 10% crystal malt, and hopped with traditional English varieties, Fuggles and Goldings, 26 IBUs and 35 color units. It features a multi biscuity aroma with hints of toffee, butterscotch, and herbal spicy hops. The flavor is rich and full-bodied, combining biscuity malt, subtle fruit, and lingering hop bitterness, finishing long with juicy malt and touch of toffee.
All right. We're going to take a short break and then be back with our main segment, which is all about mental health in films and how accurately it is portrayed. We'll be right back. All right, so tonight's main segment is about how mental health is portrayed in cinema, looking at some films and whether they're accurate or inaccurate. Just a quick addendum to this. We are movie fans. We are not clinicians or psychologists. So we are not pretending to be experts on these conditions. We're just looking at this from the perspective as movie fans. So before we dive in, we want to be clear that we're talking about how movies portray mental health, not diagnosing characters like we just opened up our own roadside psychiatry stand like Lucy and Peanuts.
5 cents.
5 cents. Our goal here is to look at what Hollywood gets right, what it exaggerates, and how these stories shape the way we think about mental health. So we're looking at it as Hollywood versus reality. So we're going to look at a couple different types of mental health topics and certain movies that portray them and how well they portray them. And then we're going to rank them on a scale of 1 therapy couch to 3 therapy couches. 1 couch is pure Hollywood nonsense. 2 couches is some truth buried in some chaos. And 3 couches would be a pretty responsible portrayal. None of these films are perfect in how they portray these things, but some are a lot more thoughtful about it than others, and that's what we're going to kind of take a look at. And this is not a comprehensive list. We just picked out a few films for each one of these. There are many films out there that portray mental health, and if you come up with one that we didn't talk about that you thought we should have had on our list, you can feel free to comment on our videos, comment on our podcast on Spotify or iTunes, and we'll give you a shout out next time around, and maybe we can cover the topic again down the line and talk about some other films. So the first one I have here is depression, and I put this one on here first as somebody who deals with it myself, and as something we talked about recently with some of the recent celebrity passings. Depression is not just feeling sad. Depression is a general feeling of malaise and dread, and you wake up in the morning and it seems like there's a black cloud over you and you just can't seem to function. It could come with disturbing thoughts, and and a lot of times it's not something that you see right away, because it's not like when you break an arm and you have a cast on. Depression is not something that is always readily noticeable.
Right.
So I have some movies here that I think do a really good job of portraying depression on film, and some that are not as great. So see what you guys think about this. The first one I have on here is Good Will Hunting. And particularly the therapy scenes between Matt Damon and Robin Williams in the film. They feel very grounded and very honest, especially the scene where he's like, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. The big Matt Damon crying scene.
Yeah.
That's what you say. So just whatever you want to say about it, I'm fine. I'm here to listen.
I mean, you
I am listening.
You watch it and you see where Matt Damon's depression is rooted in. He's pretty much on his own. He's only had his boys that he can count on. He learns not to trust or not to open up to people, which is kind of the main barrier between him and Minnie Driver's character, which is what he's working through with Robin Williams. And Robin Williams is going through what he went through because of the loss of his wife, so they're both working through issues together, even though Robin Williams is the therapist that Matt Damon's supposed to be seeing.
I was thinking about this movie earlier when I put it on the list, and this is kind of a little off topic. It's just something that popped in my head. The scene where he goes up to the guy that was like, bullying him in the bar after he gets Minnie Driver's phone number.
Them apples.
He's like, hey, do you like apples? And the guy's like, yeah. And he goes, I got her number. How you like them apples? What if the guy said he didn't like apples? What was his comeback? Always bothered me. It's only because it said it in the script that, it worked. On a scale of 1 to 3 couches, with 1 being the worst, how would you rank the portrayal of depression in this film?
2.
2? You think it's some truth buried in some chaos?
Yeah,
Okay.
I would go with a 2 on that one.
I think I would give it a 2. I think it's a very respectful depiction of it, but there is a little excess in there too sometimes. All right, I don't know if either of you guys have seen this film, Manchester by the Sea.
The one with Casey Affleck.
With Casey Affleck, it is one of the most depressing films I've ever seen, and not just because it's about depression. In general, it is a very fucking depressing movie. It is not a movie I would watch again, even though it's a good movie with strong acting. Casey Affleck won the Oscar for Best Actor for it. It is a movie about what it's like to suffer from chronic depression and grief and not know how to resolve the issue. There's a great scene in it where he's in a police station and he pulls one of the cops' guns out of the guy's holster and tries to shoot himself in the police station, and they have to tackle him and stop him. And it's such a scary portrayal of suicidal ideations that come from depression. This is for me, because having seen it, this is a 3. It is a very strong portrayal of what it feels like to have unresolved grief.
I wish I could chime in on this. I've never seen it. So.
I'm not saying it's a good movie. If you want to check it out, check it out. It is a hard watch. It is a very hard watch. Surprisingly hard watch for me too is Inside Out from 2015, the animated Pixar film.
It's emotional, but I think it's a good
emotional.
Kind of emotional, I would classify this actually as a good cry.
It's a good cry.
You watch it,
Yeah.
you understand where it's coming from. It is not. It doesn't wrap itself up in a bow with rainbows and unicorns at the end of it. The kicker is you have to accept the sadness. I'm sorry if I'm spoiling it for anybody who hasn't seen it yet, but sadness plays an integral part, and it's the whole thing. It's ignoring it or foregoing it, and sadness plays its part, and that has to be accepted.
I've said it before when we've talked about this on the show that Inside Out to me is one of the most accurate portrayals of childhood depression.
Yes.
Because the little girl is so sad and doesn't know how to communicate it, and the parents don't know how to communicate with her about it.
She doesn't know how to act on it properly.
Yeah, and it's a very touching portrayal as a teacher who has dealt with that in the classroom over the years. Working with kids who have had that have that issue. It was a very. I actually would give it. I would like to give it a 3 for responsible portrayal, but because it's a Pixar film and there are little voices in her head talking all the time, and it gets a little out of control with that stuff, I'd probably give it a 2 because it's respectful. But
I think I want to see the making of like the concept, not really the animation or the voice acting,
like the idea
concept, right? Yeah. Who the core memories, the creation of like lands and stuff like that. Where was that pulled from? Was that pulled from psychiatry?
They stole it from that TV show in the 90s about the guy that had like 5 people in his head who controlled his emotions. What the hell was the name?
Herman's Head?
Herman's Head, yeah, that's what he called him.
Alf?
He's called from Herman's Head. Fucking Bing Bong scene. Scene crushes me.
Yeah.
I put that up there with the first 15 minutes of Up.
So you put it up there with the horse scene from the Never Ending Story.
Yes, the horse scene from the Never Ending Story. Except that AI fixed that now.
Yeah.
So, less accurate or oversimplified depictions of depression. Kev, you've seen Garden State, right?
I have. Mm-hmm.
Can you talk about it? Because it says depression framed as a quirky detachment cured by romance.
Yeah,
is this the one with
Zach Braff?
Well, Zach Braff, this Portman. one, and he the one with Natalie Portman, because he did this Portman, one, and he did he did another one with I can't remember who it was, but like Elizabethtown, I think, was another one he did. But that was one he wrote. It stars Orlando Bloom.
Yeah, Orlando.
Like I get them confused a little bit. Dunst. This is the birth of the manic pixie dream girl. Her pixie honestly, dream girl is this.
You kind of forget that he's going through depression.
Yes.
His mannerisms and stuff like that sometimes just come off as aloof rather than depressed. But there's the relationship between him and his father. And his father's not Michael Sheen, who played Bilbo in The Lord of the Rings. That was Ian Holm.
Yeah,
who's a doctor, who's a psychologist, and they both kind of work through the death of his mother, her wife, or his mother, his wife, in different ways. Ian Holm is very stoic and distant, and that plays a part in how Zach Braff's character is coping with the death of his mother, who suffered from a sickness anyway. So I think the depression was kind of like, I don't want to say drawn out. That's not the accurate word, but it was long in duration. From going from having this this disability or this disease to the death.
Yeah, like it's been so long since I've seen Garden State. I probably saw it when it came out. That's how long it's been.
I love its soundtrack.
Yeah, I didn't think I could.
I like all of Zach Braff's soundtrack.
Yeah, you're a big Scrubs fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what would you say on that one? 1, 2, 3 couches.
1.5 to 2.
1.5 to 2. Pure Hollywood, somewhere between Hollywood nonsense and chaotic truth.
But you see, I also see it more like an independent film than I do see as a big Hollywood thing. So I guess that's where I don't treat it like a Hollywood, fluff.
Yeah. Next one is Analyze This from 1999 with Billy Crystal and Robert De Niro. The depression and panic attacks are the punchline of the film, so I'm going to give this one a 1.
Yeah.
It's a funny movie. Mike's giving it a 1 too. It's a funny movie. I enjoyed it. I saw it in the theater and I laughed a lot when I watched it, but not the most accurate portrayal of what it's like to be depressed or have panic attacks. I do like the scene where Billy Crystal has the dream. It's the Godfather dream, and he's the Godfather, and De Niro plays the Fredo character.
Fredo?
And he's like, I was Fredo. I don't think so. Next thing we have on here is bipolar disorder. I only have 2 films on here because it was a difficult one to kind of like narrow some movies down for. But the one that first came to my mind, because it was one of the few movies I remember watching where it was kind of like overtly like said that this is what it's about, and that's
Right.
Silver Linings Playbook.
Yeah.
From 2012.
Not a sports movie.
What's that?
Not a sports movie.
Not a sports movie. It's an Eagles movie.
Eagles are.
If you went to the theater hoping to see a football film, you'd be really disappointed. Yes.
Yes.
If you went to the movies hoping to see Jennifer Lawrence in a crop top, you'd be happy. I liked it. I thought it was an entertaining film. I don't know how accurate it is on the portrayal of bipolar disorder. I mean, he's pretty. They're both characters, deal with that. His and Jennifer Lawrence's characters, Bradley Cooper. I would say this is probably a 2.
Yeah, I think it's a solid 2.
I think it's a solid 2. I don't think it goes overboard with the portrayal, but I don't think it's like exactly accurate. Less accurate or romanticized is The Joker from 2019. A movie that I really liked when I first saw it, but then after a few like subsequent watchings, I'm like, this movie's got some problems.
Mm-hmm.
It was criticized for linking violent, murderous behavior to mental illness, perpetuating the harmful stereotype that those with such conditions are dangerous.
Well, that's all of Batman's villains.
Yeah.
I did want to research, and I never did, whether or not that condition, the laughing condition,
the laughing thing, yeah.
whether or not that is an actual medical condition that can, afflict some people, but I never looked into it.
I'm like assuming that it probably is something real, but I don't know how.
I mean, there's such a thing as nervous laughter, which we're all aware of, but
I don't know like how accurate that version of it is in the film, if it is a real thing.
I mean, it's a good way of filling in the maniacal laughter of the Joker. It's a good proponent to why he does that, or why that's a thing.
I feel like one of the problems from it is like they kind of justify his violence through the mental illness. Like, I do these things because society doesn't care about people like me, kind of thing. What I do think it does a really good job of portraying in the film is delusions. Because there's the whole story with him and Zazie Beetz that turns out to be just a hallucination. And it's done so well that I really thought it was.
And as you're going through the movie, you're seeing everybody, not every, I mean, I guess everybody was against him. His mother had hid things from him. His delusion about being a child of Thomas Wayne and his coworkers and everything, like it all kind of falls apart. So maybe that's where the violence comes from.
They do a good job at the end too of making it seem like a lot of it might have been delusion while he was in the mental hospital too. But then they ruined that by making a sequel.
Fun fact, or maybe not fun fact, just interesting fact, the last 3 movies we talked about all had Robert De Niro in them.
Tell you something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next one doesn't.
No.
Although we have a Scorsese movie on this list here somewhere. Schizophrenia and psychosis. Talking about schizophrenia, you got to think like the time period that some of these movies are happening in. It wasn't as well studied or well known about at the time.
Diagnosed appropriately.
So like Beautiful Mind came out in 2001, but it's talking about, I think it starts in like the 50s or 60s and goes up to like the 70s and 80s and all. And it's about Robert Nash, the mathematician, and his delusions he was having. He thought he worked for the government, but he was seeing people that weren't there, and and it's a very dramatized version of it. Boy, I don't know what I would give that.
I'll give it a 2.
I think it's maybe a 2.
Yeah.
It has come out in like later years of there's been some criticism to the inaccuracy of the story itself and not just the treatment of the schizophrenia. This is one we were talking about this before, Kev. There were a few I didn't put on the list, but I think this is probably where we would put One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I think this would fall under the schizophrenia psychosis category, just based on the interactions with the patients in that film.
Yeah.
And I think Cuckoo's Nest is a really strong portrayal of schizophrenia and psychosis. So that's one I would give a 3.
Yeah.
And then you got Shutter Island from 2010.
Why?
Was he really a detective?
No, the twist is he was a patient in the hospital, and everybody at the hospital was playing along with his delusions. And what do you know? It's Mark Ruffalo playing along with the delusions. It's like him in Now You See Me Again. Like it was.
Those are called illusions, not delusions.
Delusions. It was the. Oh man, I don't know. It's Shutter Island's a 1. I like the movie. It's a Scorsese film. It's a good film. DiCaprio's awesome. But it is not a
good portrayal.
It's entertainment portrayal and not accuracy portrayal. This is one I was looking forward to talk about, because this is one that you see a lot in film, OCD. And a lot of times it's used for comedic devices. I have a little OCD myself.
Isn't everybody?
Everybody has a little bit in them, but some are worse than others, and there's some who it just takes over their life.
Right.
But I have a very strict routine to certain things that could be construed as like OCD. But I've known people in my life who are really bad with it. And one of the movies we have on this list, another Scorsese film, The Aviator, with Leonardo DiCaprio, where he plays Howard Hughes. I don't know how accurate it is, but it's fucking disturbing. A hard movie to watch. Especially when he
rubbing his hands raw.
Scrubbing his hands raw, pissing in jars, only drinking milk. Like locking himself in a room and being afraid to touch the doorknobs. And it's brutal, especially towards the end when he really starts to spiral down.
Yeah.
Again, it's based on a true story. I don't know how true. I would say this is probably a 2 for me. There's very few movies on this list that I think I would give 3s to.
So you're trying to say Big Bang Theory would not be a 2?
Big Bang Theory is.
Oh shit!
We want to talk about.
Well, that's
that's autism. They never.
Really,
yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What were you going to say, Kev?
No, I was just going to say it was never really addressed. You see the signs and you kind of know that he's on the spectrum, whether or not it's Asperger's or autism. But
Penny.
Yeah. He's definitely OCD.
Yeah, he's definitely OCD.
And he's definitely on the spectrum, and it's most likely based on his intelligence, a form of Asperger's. But yeah, it's never outright said. I would give that show a 2, because it is obviously entertainment and played for laughs sometimes, but they are pretty good at showing what a person like that would be like.
Right.
Bordering on a 1. The Aviator, I would give a solid 2.
Yeah.
Kev, the next one here, is this one you've seen, Matchstick Men, the one with Nick Cage?
It is, yeah.
I have not seen one, so I'll leave this to you.
As much as he loves Nick Cage,
look, man, hold on to your hat. This is one where I can watch it and not have ill feelings towards Nick Cage for this.
Mm-hmm.
He does a good job portraying somebody. He's a grifter. Him and Sam Rockwell are, con artists. His OCD is displayed in full force, vacuuming in certain patterns, making sure everything is lined up certain ways, using handkerchiefs to open doors. And I was about to say, it's his phobias and his mental illness, which kind of does play a major part in how he himself, and I'm sorry, I know this is a spoiler, but the movie is about 20 years old by now, I think. How he's it's actually 22 years old. Grifted himself, through a person portraying themselves as his daughter, and the relationship that they build, and how that's all taken into account when Sam Rockwell is trying to grift his own partner. So I wouldn't call it a 1. It wasn't so over exaggerated. It wasn't simple jacked, if we can use that term.
A simple jack should be like if it's less than a 1, it's a simple jack.
Yeah. But it's done well. I'd give it a 2.
Okay. Next one I have here. So As Good as It Gets with Jack Nicholson came out in 97. I remember seeing this in the theater and thinking to myself, wow, that was really one of the most accurate portrayals of OCD I've ever seen. Because he's really he washes his hands and then throws the soap out and uses a new bar every time. And, he won't step on the cracks on the pavement. He counts before he locks the door at night. It's all very OCD-ish things. So much so that it affects his actual behavior and attitude.
Right. Because some people do have it that bad.
Yes. But then upon rewatching it, I thought, okay, it's not as accurate as I thought, because he kind of gets cured by love. Because at the end of the film, he's walking down the street holding Helen Hunt's hand, and he realizes he stepped on a crack and nothing happened.
Yeah, the end of it kind of fucked it up.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, if they had stopped with him starting to take the pills, and the pills are what were helping him, that's fine, because that's what they're for. But yeah, it was a little hokey at the end there, where it was kind of oh, love is curing him.
Yeah, up until the end, I would give it a solid 2.5.
Yeah, I think it's.
And I'm still going to give it a 2.
I'm going to give it a 2. Yeah. I do love, my favorite line in the film though is when the woman asks him, "How do you write women so well?"
So well.
He's like, "I think of a man, and I take away. What does he say?
I take away reason
and accountability." Yeah, here's one that's really accurate. 1991's What About Bob? Richard Dreyfuss.
I sail.
I'm sailing.
Baby steps.
I'm gonna call that one a 1.
That's a 1. It's funny. The movie.
It's funny. It is a really funny movie. Yeah, but it's played for the laughs. It's not serious.
Right.
So we have a couple more here. PTSD. I have as the 2 best that from my own opinion, the 2 best are The Deer Hunter and American Sniper. Deer Hunter is, of course, another De Niro film. De Niro, Christopher Walken, John Cazale, Meryl Streep. John Voight. It talks about the long-term psychological damage that these veterans of the Vietnam War face. Knowing people who have been in the Vietnam War and how it affected them, I'm going to say this one's a pretty accurate depiction of what that's like. And it's done in a fairly respectful way. So I'm going to give this one one of the few 3s, I think, on the list.
Definitely a 3 on that one.
Definitely a 3. American Sniper, which is another Bradley Cooper film. Based on a true story. A lot of where the PTSD comes in this film is, his own suffering, but then he uses that to help other soldiers. And it eventually leads to his death because a soldier with PTSD kills him. When I first saw the film, I was like, wow, yeah. And then the fake baby that he holds in the film kind of took me out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I would give this now. I think this is like a 2.5.
I'm going to go with a 3.
You're going to go with a 3? I mean, you might know better than I do as somebody who has, veteran experience, but
all veterans, even if they don't have PTSD, have reintegrating is hard.
Yeah.
In life. So,
would you say there's always some element of trauma that comes back with a veteran?
I want to call it trauma. It's just we're broken down and rebuilt.
Mm.
We're mentally broken down. We're physically broken down. And we're rebuilt in boot camp to think a certain way, to do a certain way, and then you're trying to reintegrate into civilian life, which is totally like not as orderly as the military is.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just normal for veterans. Then you got the ones that have issues. That's been through traumas. They're going to have an even harder time of it.
Yeah. So I'm going to defer to your expertise on that. And
Same. Yeah.
You say it's a 3. Like I'm not going to argue with on that. I think nobody is going to say that Rambo First Blood Part 2 is a 3.
Why not Part 1?
So Part 1. Now I would put Part 1 on the accurate list.
Yeah.
Like Rambo First Blood is a film about PTSD.
Yes.
And a soldier coming back from Vietnam and like you said, having a hard time integrating back into civilian life.
I wouldn't call that a 3 because I think it's over dramatized.
Yeah, it's a solid 2.
It's a solid 2.
And it's because it's based on a novel written, that was about that.
Right.
Rambo First Blood Part 2 was just a money grab.
Yeah.
Let's take this character, put him back into the jungle where he can use his trauma to destroy the entire Viet Cong army single-handedly. It's a revenge drama.
It's never over.
It's a half a point above Simple Jack.
Adrian, I'm coming home.
Yeah. Con Air, which we were just talking about earlier in pre-show. I'm gonna move on. That's a 1. Dissociative identity disorder, which was formerly known as multiple personality disorder. This is one of those ones, man, that really hit or miss in Hollywood. You get a movie like Primal Fear in '96 with Ed Norton and Richard Gere, which is a really, really good movie. Really good twist. And Ed Norton is amazing in it. I don't know how accurate it is, but it's more accurate than some other films that I've seen.
I would probably put Sybil up there too.
Sybil, yeah, that I was thinking of that too as I was talking about Primal Fear.
That's
like the original. No, not Fight Club. Fight Club is not
schizophrenia, I would say.
That's more like schizophrenia because he's hearing voices, yeah. Whereas with DID, you're becoming another personality. Fight Club, as crazy as it is, that film, I actually think it does a pretty good job of portraying the schizophrenia part of it. Because the first time seeing it, you think it's another person. Like you don't realize he's hallucinating. Primal Fear, though, I would give that like a solid 2.5, maybe.
Yeah.
Then you got Split, the M. Night Shyamalan film, James McAvoy. I like the movie a lot. I think James McAvoy is fucking amazing in it.
Yeah.
His ability to switch between the different characters he plays is really cool. But man, is that a stereotype of what DID is?
Yeah, and when you consider as part of a superhero trilogy,
yes,
it's less of a mental disorder and more of a power, if you will.
Yeah. His villain name is the Horde because he has so many personalities. And I like too is like because this does not happen in real life. Is his personalities affect his physiology? So like one personality is diabetic, so he has to use insulin shots.
Yeah.
Another personality is a little boy, so he's like he acts, and then you get the beast. He turns into the beast, and his body physically changes. And that doesn't happen. And then there's Identity.
I like the movie, not for
too.
the
actor portrayal.
Right. I mean, not right.
Great twist.
That's what it is. It's the twist. Like if you went through the movie knowing that characters dealing with DID, and if you knew that, then it's shot. You really aren't taking much from the movie. It's the twist, And again, it's 25 years old. I don't mind talking about it. That, you know, that's the revelation that comes out of it. All these people
are one person.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a cool movie when I first saw it, and you know, the twist happened and all that. But you look back on it, like, you know, that's a one. That's a Hollywood DID film.
Yep.
And then the last one we have on the list here is intellectual disability, cognitive impairment, or autism. I kind of group them together because it's kind of hard to like separate them in some cases. And these are pretty like well-known ones. Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
Simplified but empathetic and human-centered. What would you say Forrest is? Would you say he's autistic?
I would say he's autistic, or maybe even has maybe a degree of Asperger's.
I was thinking like a cognitive impairment in some way, because I know he's not supposed to be of high IQ.
Yeah.
I mean, he may not be a smart man, but he does know what love is. Oh, I got this thing I saw. Just reminded me of that. The real movie villains, and it tells us that the real movie villains in Titanic is the old Rose when she drops the diamond in the water. John Hammond in Jurassic Park is the real villain because he builds Jurassic Park. Grandpa Joe in Willy Wonka is the real villain. Motherfucker laid in bed for 30 years. And then the real villain of Forrest Gump is, of course, Johnny.
Oh, that poor guy for years.
I have a hard time, speaking of Simple Jack, I have a hard time thinking of Forrest Gump anywhere without thinking about Robert Downey Jr. and Tropic Thunder talking about
you can't go too far.
Can't go full retard. Yeah. Forrest Gump. Hard? I don't know. Simple. Wins an Oscar. Gump. I have a hard time ranking it because I'm not sure like how we classify.
I think DiCaprio did a very good job. You know,
I'm not talking about Gilbert Grape yet. I'm talking about Forrest Gump still.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Like, how would you say like 1, 2, or 3 on that one?
1.
1?
I think so.
Okay.
I mean, he's simple, but there's little to
too much.
And I think maybe his simplicity is overshadowed by the events, the grand scale of everything that happens to him. Which I
think the simplicity is like what, but the simplicity is supposed to be what leads him to get into those situations.
Yeah.
I don't know. 1, I guess. 1 or somewhere between a 1 and a 2. What's Eating Gilbert Grape is really good for showing, you know, somebody with autism, cognitive impairment. Like, I remember, like, DiCaprio actually went and observed and studied people with that condition because he wanted to be as accurate with it as he could. So much so that people who didn't know who DiCaprio was before this thought he actually had, autism. Like, it's a really amazing portrayal. It's one of the few on this list I would give a 3 to.
It's an underrated movie too.
Underrated movie. It's also a movie that kind of like it depicts other things too, because like Johnny Depp's character is kind of like depressed in the film. You have the mother who suffers from obesity and all that stuff, and there's like a lot of things in there. But it's really the thing that stands out is the DiCaprio performance in that film. And Chris and Rain Man.
He always stands out.
Yeah, he always stands out. Rain Man.
12 minutes to Wapner.
Yeah, at the time, it was. Go ahead, Mike. What are you gonna say?
I think his portrayal was pretty spot on.
So I think at the time in 1988, it's what people knew of autism because it wasn't like as widely known then. I mean, even
just too. So yeah,
like so much so that like in the film they don't call it autism; they call it idiot savant, which is like the term they used to use for it. Again, he's another one who kind of like worked with people like that so that he can kind of be accurate with it. I thought it was kind of accurate, but there are moments that are a little like off kilter that I would probably give it a 2 more than a 3.
Right. I think
I'd give it a 2.
Give it a strong 2.
I am intrigued that I found recently that Cruise wanted the Hoffman role.
Yeah.
And
They were
Hoffman was hoping for the Cruise
well,
role.
they auditioned for the other roles.
Mm-hmm.
And the casting directors had them read for the opposite positions and felt that they were better that way, because it was originally written that Ray was the younger brother, which is why Tom Cruise would have played him.
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of rewrote the characters, but I think it worked better that way. I can't imagine Cruise playing that character.
No. If he's jumping from plane to plane, but
he'd have to run sometime in the film. All right, here are our last three that we got here. The problematic films in portraying autism and or cognitive disabilities. Anybody ever seen The Ringer with Johnny Knoxville?
Oh, God.
No.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, so bad.
Yeah. Katherine Heigl.
Katherine Heigl. Yeah, it's Johnny Knoxville. His uncle, who's played by Brian Cox, gets in trouble with the mob for owing him like gambling money or whatever, and convinces Johnny Knoxville to join the Special Olympics, pretending to be a special person, so that he could beat everybody else in track and field, because he's not actually a special person. And then he comes to realize that he's not as athletic as he thought he was, because some of the Special Olympics participants are better than him. And it's like the worst part of the film is that Katherine Heigl somehow falls in love with him anyway, even though he's pretending to be cognitively impaired the entire film. Best scene in the film, the only scene that really makes me laugh, is they get caught. They're out late at night with the guy that's like Katherine Heigl's boyfriend at the beginning of the film, and he brings them back to the facility, and she's like, "Where were you guys?" And she's hollering at the boyfriend, and he's like, "Oh, I just took him out for ice cream." Lying to cover for them. And one of the guys turns around and goes, "When the fuck did we get ice cream?" And it was an ad-libbed line, and you can tell because Johnny Knoxville is trying to hard not to laugh during the scene. It's really funny. Otherwise, the film is I give this film the first simple Jack of the night. There are actors in the film who actually have Down syndrome and some other cognitive disabilities, and they're not playing for laughs. They're the serious characters, but it's not a serious film.
No.
Something about Mary. Played for gags.
Yeah.
It's all played for gags.
Franks
That's
and
all
Beans.
Franks and Beans. She goes, "I didn't know you work with people with Down syndrome." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, I love these goofy little bastards." Yeah, Franks and Beans. How did you get the Franks? How'd you get the beans above the Frank? Oh, good Lord. And the last one I have on here is The Predator from 2018. There's a child in the film with autism who is not attacked by the Predator because he sees him as an evolutionary upgrade. His autism is awkwardly framed as an evolutionary upgrade in the film. It's very fucking bizarre. Not one of the better Predator films. All right, Mike, you said you did your beer trivia as part of your beer recommendation earlier.
Yeah.
So we have a cinema quote of the week.
The way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. Walt Disney.
Always move forward. How are your drinks tonight, gentlemen?
This has been the first time in a while that I've had to crack open my second. They're good. The Weyerbacher Quad was strong. And surprisingly, the cold brew is equally as strong.
That cold brew sounded good.
Yeah.
After getting through the head of mine, it was pretty good.
Mike got through his initial catastrophe. It was pretty good. I had a coffee with some Irish cream in it because I was cold, and I feel slightly warmer now, but still a little chilled, but I feel better. All right. So thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight for episode 230, where we looked at mental health in films. We called it Real Therapy. That's REEL, Real. We hope you enjoyed listening to the podcast as much as we enjoyed recording it for you. Remember, you can drop us an email at filmsoffermentation@gmail.com or visit linktree.com/filmsoffermentation. Find all of our social media podcast links. You can watch us on the Podnation Media Network on Roku, on YouTube, and on Rumble. You can support us by going to patreon.com/filmsandfermentation or text us at 904-867-4466. We're going to have one more episode before we take a little quote unquote spring break for a couple weeks. So our next episode, so 231, is going to be most misquoted movie lines. I'm going to give these guys some misquoted lines, and they're going to try to give me the accurate ones. So that should be a fun episode. So join us next time. In the meantime, I'm Leo.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Mike.
This has been the Films and Fermentation Podcast. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Cheers.